Today is my 40th birthday. For 40 years, I've been alive, and I've wanted to do something. I've thought about it, I've talked about it, but I've never followed through with it until now. Do you have something like that? Do you have something that you've wanted to do, that you kept getting ready to do, but you never actually did? I think we all have something like that. For me, it was this. It was starting a YouTube channel. I had seen people do it. I have researched it. I have wanted to do it so bad, and I've started, but I've never actually followed through with it. And so I said that was going to change. For my 40th birthday, that was going to change. And, I was afraid I was going to talk myself out of it, because that's often what we do. We talk ourselves out of moving forward with things. But why do we do that? I mean, if we really want to ask ourselves a key question, why do we want to do something, yet we don't take action on it? Sure, that affects all of us. And the reason is right there underneath the surface. It's called a limiting belief. We usually have a limiting belief around something that we want to do. A limiting belief is a negative thought or an assumption that keeps us from growing or keeps us from achieving our goals. You might have a number of limiting beliefs around a lot of different things in your path to personal and professional growth. But I want to give you 3 steps on how I handle limiting beliefs. The first step is it's very important that we identify the limiting belief. We have to know what is actually the belief that is slowing us down. You've got to separate that sometimes. Because we could think it's many different things, but for the most part, there's probably a reoccurring belief that keeps coming up and coming up and coming up. For me, in this avenue of having a YouTube channel, that limiting belief was nobody's going to find value in it. You're going to put a whole bunch of time into something that nobody is going to watch or find value in. But that's probably not true. Somebody would find value, and if I'm doing it and I love doing it, it's not wasting any time. I can't let that stop me. I've got to identify what that exact limiting belief is. The second thing is we got to challenge the limiting belief. We got to challenge it. It's an obstacle that's often created out of our fear and our uncertainty. Our fear and our uncertainty. What do they say? Fear is false evidence appearing real. That's why I got to challenge it. There is someone out there that will find value. I have the privilege of coaching hundreds of leaders around the country over this last year, and the conversations we have been life-changing. And I want to share those. And I believe someone's going to find value in those. And I got to challenge that limiting belief because I feel so passionate about that, about helping leaders develop. Okay, so what do you have to do to challenge the limiting belief that's holding you back right now? Once you've identified it, you've got to challenge it. Then number 3, you got to replace it. You got to take the negative thought and put in a positive one. Okay, so take the negative one, and you probably have got that swirling around in your mind. What does the opposite of that look like? What if that was a positive for you? Nobody would watch it or find value in it. There's a negative thought. Someone would watch it, and they need the value in it. That's a positive thought. That can encourage me to take action. So to tell myself that over and over again, somebody's going to find value in this. If I keep telling myself over and over and encouraging myself in that, it bypasses that limiting belief. It replaces it with a positive one, and it helps me take action. Because remember, your beliefs drive your thoughts drive your actions drive your results. You want different results? Change your beliefs. You got to identify them, you got to challenge them, and then you got to replace them. That's what we want to do with those limiting beliefs. So mine was YouTube, and I'm going to do that this year. That's where my 40th birthday comes in. But more importantly, what's your limiting belief? What's something you are fighting through right now? I want you to take some time and identify it. I want you to challenge that belief and really think about it, really reflect on it, and then I want you to replace it. I want you to take that negative and kick it out of here and put in a positive statement around the belief that's going to help drive you to the results that you want. So let's talk about YouTube. real quick. I'm going to give myself a consistency challenge. This is something, again, that I wanted to do, and I wanted to make sure that I have a challenge to do it. It fits my personality style. If there's a challenge, I'll go after it. So here's the consistency challenge that I'm thinking about. Not that I'm thinking about, that I'm committed to. Posting every day on here in this space for 365 days. 365 days. Can I do it? I don't know. Maybe, but I'd love to have you along for the journey. If you are in your personal growth journey, if you're in your professional growth journey, I've got a ton of things that I want to share with you. And I'm sure I'm going to collect a ton more along the way. And it's probably going to look much different at the end of next year than it does right now. At my birthday on November 29th, 2025 is going to look different than 2024. And I've got my growth journal right here. This is just a record of the conversations I'm having, the things I'm learning, the things I'm doing. I want to just share out of this with you every day for the entire year. And we can use this to learn together. If you want to come on the journey, you can just hit the subscribe button. This channel right now, let's see. Let's see how many subscribers this channel has. 1. This channel has 1 subscriber. That's going to change. That is going to change. It's going to change over the next 365 days as we build a growth community together. I am excited about it, and I'm excited to share what we are learning together and how we are growing. So if you want to come along the journey, come along, and let's see what happens. Let's just beat the limiting beliefs together. I'll see you tomorrow.